Hi, YouTube. I was frozen there for a second. I don't know if it's going to show up, but it seems a little delayed, but yeah, it's done that to me before and it's came out fine, so I'll just go with it. So, yeah, I'm having a pretty good day. It's winter here in the northern hemisphere, and it poured rain last night, and it's about 40 degrees out, and it's going to be nice for about this time next week. We're going to be probably 19 degrees during the day and 12 at night, and getting colder going through January. But then February again, it usually, I've seen it on my birthday, 58 degrees, and I was born in 58, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, I'm thinking about some things that the former and almost again Donald Trump he's treasonous. I'll tell you why he is. I mean, first off, last time before he left office, he's the one that ushered in warp speed, and we know that a lot of, and that's it. It was, they tried to mandate all kinds of things that were not only unconstitutional, but unhealthy for a lot of people. And we know that as fact, no matter what anybody says. Also, a fact is his ongoing money and promises to Ukraine. And before he got out of office, he sent a package over there. And as soon as he gets in, he intends on continuing with that. That's not the treasonous part, although it should be, because that's, we know, where they launder a lot of money. And that brings me to mind, our Federal Reserves needs to be brought into the central of the United States again, not down in Puerto Rico, where the average person doesn't really have access to the physical building in our country, you know. So that's what my topic is today, our country. I heard people making jokes that are Brits, that America's still owned by Britain. Oh, yeah? You want to come and fight that war again? How about one of you and one of me? How about we start like that? I'm cool with that. Okay, Canada is a part of the UK. Canada is owned by Britain. Canada was ran by the Queen and is now ran by the King. Although they have separate parliaments, Britain owns Canada. And Trump is talking about merging with Canada and making it another state. No, it's a country that is affiliated with um, um, patriarchy, a monarchy. Um, I wouldn't mind so much as the fact that I could go up into Canada without a visa. It used to be we could, but it isn't like that anymore, from what I understand. Last time we were up there, we didn't need anything. Now, that part, that would be okay. Like um I mean, they're a corporation and so are we. And the same with like South Africa and Britain. I mean, all these countries that are a part of the UK, you don't want to be a part of that. I'm just telling you, you don't. If we've got to stand up. We can't combine our countries like that. That's what they want. One world government. That's unallowed. This is our country until all the people on the reservations aren't on reservations anymore and are running their own government until every Native American has clean drinking water and land that produces crops like they used to have before they were ran off their territory, until there's no homeless out on the streets or in the woods or wherever, until we take care of our own. I mean, they're going to say, well, we'll have more access to more funds, and we run just fine without any other country's interference. And our politics and their politics aren't the same, like Mexico, if we were to merge with them, or Canada. It is not the same. I do not want their clinics that allow people in Canada to go in and sign a paper to take their own life. I don't want that in my country. Now, maybe if somebody does, they should move to Canada. You know, you can still off yourself. I mean, if it were illegal in any aspect, who's going to charge you with what? With the dead body. But to actually have people that are mentally unstable in their lives have access at that type of thing. And then what next? Children are going to be able to um, sign a piece of paper and not live even before they've begun. And how many teenagers do you know that have lived through that type of thing? uh, about every single one of us, you know, like the first time your heart gets broken or whatever the case may be, you know. There's a lot of reasons why we would not want to be a part of Canada, and it is treasonous. Just the suggestion that we incorporate with another country. He words it as making it another state. No, it's a country that is also owned by the Native Americans in that country. All the Americas had American people here before the British invaded all this and started forming colonies. People need to really wake up to this one world government and religion and the rest of the agendas that are going to be forced upon us. If you don't say no, you have to speak up against Trump. And what and who is Elon Musk in our government? Because he has money? These ugly men, you would follow these, and they're ugly because they have money. That makes them attractive to people. It's repulsive. If you had a brain, you'd see it as um, for what it is, sickening and controlling. Well, maybe you do. Maybe you don't. You know, I'm not for any of them. Don't get me wrong. Um, for people that um don't think that women have the fortitude to be leaders, I would have liked to have seen Camilla just get in there for that reason. Not Hillary, but Camilla. Even AOC, Acacia Cortez. Yeah, one of them would be funnier than shit to me to watch men have to be underneath them in a political arena. Yeah, it's funny. It's not going to happen, but it would be funny. It didn't even almost happen, you know. And if it did, that would be a big surprise to me, you know. But I'm just telling you, this Canadian thing, it's not going to happen in my lifetime. I'm saying no. You need to say no. Unless you really want to be combined with the greed. That's all it is about. It's about greed. They have resources that we need. No, they don't. They don't have one thing we don't have here. Huh. Maybe more land that hasn't been raped as bad as the United States because the crown wouldn't allow it. Yeah, that's about the only thing. Resources, yeah. Everything we have is renewable. I mean, up into a point, but like water and oil and even the industry, um, people plant, people cut. It's a continuous thing. It's like our woods, trees get old, they fall over. We harvest them and we burn them. Guess what? We planted them, you know, and babies grow continuously. It's a continuous thing. So I think Trump's a piece of shit. I've never liked him. I never will. Nobody's going to convince me that he's got anything for the average human being that's substance. Not even a good word. Go yourself. I don't trust them people. And you shouldn't either. These are agendas that they're fulfilling. The patents that were already the vials of these diseases I saw when I was a kid, the whole thing is an operation to control people and get you into little tiny cities and rape the rest of the earth and keep the riches while you make the system go around. Yeah. I still say if Britain wants to butt their big fat noses in our business again, bring it on. I'm not going to stand by and watch it. I'm not too old to fight. Yeah, I will. On my own land. Sure will. I'm right across from Canada. Try and come over here. We don't want you here. We love you up there. And I hope you love us down here too. But we don't want you here. You know, you have your own country, so do we. Start taking care of your own Native Americans up there, like we need to do here, and your own homeless. Have you ever seen Alberta? The streets of Alberta or Toronto with all those magnificent buildings and all the homeless. Vancouver, same thing. What are these people doing? They're not even taking care of their own. We don't need to combine. Is my combining with my neighbor going to help either one of us really? Or is living in separate homes a better idea because we have our own set ways of doing things within our home? There's some good things that Trump could pattern after Canada for the American people, like free health care, you know, like if you're out and about and get in a car accident and you break your arm, what are you going to do if you don't have any medical insurance? I've heard how people, they put them on lists up in Canada for different operations and that type of thing. It's pretty much the same here, only you pay for it. And then I've also heard good reports that people in Canada got excellent medical care. So, you know. But I'm telling you, just Trump even saying that we should merge with Canada is treasonous. That's England. That's a part of England. Those are the people we fought. That's our independence that he's stomping on. I was I was married on Independence Day because of my nature. It's a fact. And what now? They think they're going to force me into a non-independence mode of somebody else's crown, that I'm going to bow to that. They do. Trump's bent over all the time for his little rabbi buddies that are pretending to be Jews that are Slavic, that a bunch are in England. you know, I know that was a mouthful, but you got the drift, you know. You put a side by side picture of Trump and Elon and then go look it up. I'm sure I've heard it. I'm not sure how far they are separated as relatives, but they are. And this person, you think Elon's smart because his mother used dark money and was involved in some really heinous things to make money to give to her son, and you think these people are praiseworthy. And then Trump's family, they change their name and move over here. Like a lot of what my channel's been about is telling you about, like the family crests and the banners, how they change, how they intermarry and change the colors and um, symbols and different things to indicate what they've done within their family. And why doesn't the rest of the world have family crests? Hmm? Doug does. You'd be really surprised what that indicates. I've got a video showing the Weast family crest, the old one and the new one, and how many times their names have changed. That'll blow you away. So, anyway, all these things I'm talking about are really important because what they're doing has nothing to do with pleasing the American people. It never has. So people have to be aware that this isn't a joke, like New York becoming a part of Canada, or these things that these people are saying just loosely, like it's some kind of a non-reality that they don't hope to achieve. They hope you're not going to say anything about it so they continue and can develop a attitude in our country like it's really no big deal to say that we're all America. And you've heard people say that a lot. I hear it a lot out of Canadians calling the United States America and their country when we're all America, yeah. So is South America, you know. But with China and Russia being right up there next to the proposed merged state, that doesn't make me feel too comfortable. Maybe you're okay with that. I don't like anything they're about. Oh, let me take that back. I went to the Calgary Stampede and saw that rodeo. That was very cool. And Canada makes the best maple syrup. We know that. And, well, maybe. There's some people, even locally here in Minnesota, that tap maple trees, but. And they have a strawberry preserve up there that is so good. It comes in like, looks like a paint can, and it's the best preserves I've ever had in my life. So, yeah, they have a few things that are pretty cool. Yeah. And Horseshoe Falls is pretty. If you've been to Niagara Falls, it's on the other side of the border. I had talked some time about, because I got invited to live up there through some blood and of having dual citizenship and living in Thunder Bay, on Lake Superior. I thought about that. I still might someday, or up around in that area. I like a little place called Grand Portage. It's just gorgeous. Waterfalls running down into Lake Superior out of the mountains, and oh yeah, it's my kind of place. But not too far from Thunder Bay. Somewhere up in there I want to be. It's so pretty. But yeah, being a part of Canada, that's never really appealed to me. I'm a citizen of the United States of America. And that might be one reason when I wrote the Secretary of the House, our legislator, Paul Simon, and never got an answer why a baby, and this is just one that I found out, a baby boy was adopted by two men and taken to Israel, and I wanted to know if that child had dual citizenship, if its social security number was nullified, if the government was still going to treat that baby's number as a part of the corporation, and who was going to be looking out after this child, all in combination with the Hague Corporation that is ran out of, I think it's Norway, that deals with a lot of adoptions around the world and is involved in adopting children out of our country into other countries. They're taking little United States citizens while other people are murdering babies and taking them out of our country and doing whatever they want with them. And if you believe in adoption, I can tell you one thing: you do not know your belief system. And I've been in group homes, and I was born an orphan and sold twice. I was brought back once after I was injured, then the injury was documented, but my mother and my grandmother said I was born perfect. And yeah, I was abused on a daily basis in my childhood. That's why I started running away. also, and I've heard it out of other um, orphans too, that we would rather be together in orphanages than placed in families with strangers. You know, at least we had something in common when we were all together, you know. But people are going to say, well, I know this one girl. Yeah, I have an adopted brother that's sucked up to the dark cabal and he loves that. What about the ones that don't, you know? So, yeah. Be a lot easier to traffic human beings without any borders, wouldn't it? Same with cartels and drugs and weapons. Things people don't maybe think about, you know. I'm telling you, Trump's treasonous, and it's only going to get worse unless people start saying what I'm saying about it, calling the demon for what it is, you know. That's disgusting. Um, in 1776, somebody would have hung him out in the village square for his language. That's a fact. That's what we fought for, our independence and separation from England. That's why the colonists came over here. That's why you're here, isn't it? Just to become a part of England again? You'd have to be out of your mind not to realize the history behind the whole thing and what's going on. There's probably going to be some noise, but it's not a big deal. Anyway, I just really wanted to make that clear because it's important, and I do not trust him. I never will. Um, he knows what the agendas are, and most of you do too. And you have to speak up about it, or it's going to get worse. We can stop this rebelling against it, and it isn't unnatural to call our public officials out on our constitutional rights. You know, hell yes, we have a right not to want to be a part of England again. That's what it's all about, is that separation and independence. Was supposed to be independence from their tax, you know. That was one of the biggest things right there. Where'd that go? People let that slip a long time ago. Just let it ride. We can't let these things ride. We'll have less and less all the time if we do. So, I hope to see more people out there now speaking on this, that we do not want to merge with Canada. I know I'm not the only one that feels that way. And you understand the control that England has over a lot of the world. And if you want to be under that thumb, I suggest you move to Canada. That we're independent here. That's what we're all about. So, all right, everybody. I appreciate you joining me. This needed to be talked about. I was going to talk about CERN's magical bullshit with their fake quantum physics and their pretense of understanding what magic is. True magic cannot be measured in numbers, but these freaks will have you believing all kinds of things. So, all right, everybody, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA. On New Year's, I'm going to model my silk jacket for you. So, something to look forward to. I don't usually show you me, but I will. So, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good day wherever you're at. Peace and love.